Gentlemen, welcome to the Manish Bar. My name is G. I'm a lot more mellower than your stereotype of a rap kind of fella. I come across smooth out like butter without the yellow. A beautiful brown tone blessing you with mad crazy knowledge whispers in your eardrums. On a mission and a commission to spread the word and talk to brothers, encourage brothers. This is the place and the space where men talk, men discuss, men live life out loud. Welcome to the Manish Bar. I think about my man Rick here, the owner of this establishment, the CopperFox, man. Rick,
Lawrence.
this spot right here is
Lawrence.
amazing.
It's not bad.
It's amazing, man.
I don't usually do like Moscow mules or whatever, but the mule here, oh, I'm in love with that. I drank 2 today. I'm gonna order a couple more before I leave.
Well, listen, this is what they have specialties that they do here at the distillery, and I want Rick. You know, Rick and his wife do an amazing job at this spot right here, and I'm a frequent flyer here. You know, I like to come and just sit and take in the ambiance, man. Bring my laptop, do some work, sip some sips. Of course, y'all know that's what I like to do. This is an ideal space for me to do some cigar and sips as well. You know what we're known for. But Rick, if you can talk to them about what y'all do, and then explain these beautiful flights that we got in front of us, man.
Got it. Well, thank you for coming and coming back.
Yes.
And keep coming back because you're a good man, and it's really nice to have you here.
Well, thank you, sir.
It's really, really nice. I've not met you until today, so it's good to see you. And you've been here. I know you're my mule boy.
Yeah.
So this is well, yeah, it's a special day, but it's also, you know, it's cool enough where you can still get by with the fire.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and this fire has a lot of meaning. It's in an old bathtub that came from the malt house. And you say, oh, that's cute and everything, but the thing that we do, the thing that makes CopperFox what it is the idea that I started with was that we would smoke. So fire, smoke. We would smoke our malt. We would do our own floor malting. So over in that building there, we've got 6,000 pounds of barley on the floor.
Wow.
That I had to rake this morning. Because these guys are on vacation, and I said, Rick, you're on malt. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Well, but I love to rake, and I love to be with the barley. And you get into a rhythm. It needs to be raked every 4 hours. We malt our own barley, and that's highly unusual in North America. When I started doing that, when I started CopperFox, we were the only distillery in North America.
Wow.
So that includes Canada and Mexico.
Get out of here. Yes, yes.
And the United States. All of those. So we were the only ones doing it. And the reason we started malting our own barley is so that we could flavor the malt with different smokes.
Ah.
So was it you that gave me the idea to use tobacco smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's going to come up. But what we started with, and what we've been doing for the last 15 years, is applewood and cherrywood, peachwood, and sassafras. Okay. So that's what we have in bottles, and so being by the fire with some friends, some old friends, some new friends. That's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's nice to be here.
Absolutely. And look at these tables, y'all. Ain't they so managed? These are some of the most managed tables.
You're right.
All day long, man.
So yeah, we didn't get those at Walmart or on Amazon, but we had a neighbor that dropped a tree and I carved these things.
Hey, you the man.
So
attention to detail.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So so this is our place. So we're making whiskey. We do our own malt. We got the fermenter full over there. The big still's running 4 times a week, cooking twice a week, and that gives us 1 day to clean up.
Yeah.
So we're producing a pretty good amount, and then we age the whiskey, and we have the building over there where we toast the chips. So again, it goes back to the fire. So
Yeah.
when I sit by the fire, it's like the circle is complete.
Yeah.
Because that's, I guess, what really completes the circle and puts a bullseye in it is when you taste the whiskey.
Okay.
Maybe we could taste some of this.
Let's
Hey,
talk
let's-
about it and do it.
let's.
Let's taste some of the whiskey. So we have these flight boards, and these are old barrel staves, and they're marked, and the notch number 1 is the original single malt whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So this is barley that was a strain that was developed down in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech, grown in Heathsville, Northumberland County, shipped here by our farmer, and we take it from there. So we do all the malting, and this is single malt. It's 100% malted barley. It's smoked in the drying process with applewood and cherrywood, a mix of applewood cherrywood, like a 60-40 blend. A little heavier on the apple is
Gotcha.
what we kind of gravitated towards. But if you just nose this,
Yeah.
you don't even have to drink it to enjoy it.
That's right.
It is.
I tell you, sometimes my wife will dab a little behind her ear, following her around.
Now that's some
It's like,
man
yeah,
stuff
I'm
right
just
there.
saying.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's
Hey,
just,
don't give us any ideas.
man.
That is nice. And he didn't. Y'all didn't even wait for the salute. These cats.
Which
I'm going ahead and
that's
enjoy
fine.
them.
No, just nose it. So yeah, the dabbing the whiskey behind the ears kind of reminds me how I trained the dog. I'd staple bologna to my shoes.
I like that.
I'm sure that worked. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was nice. Absolutely. And it doesn't have a burn. It's just smooth and a bite. You got that nice little bite.
It's
in
good
it.
smoking whiskey.
Oh yeah.
But not overly sweet, but really full.
Right.
And a really long finish and release that changes over time. So if you've set your glass down, and I don't want to, well, I do want to put words and ideas in your head. That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But the idea is that your flavor sensation is still giving input. It's still releasing that flavor and changing, even though you've set the glass down. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to have to be drinking all the time to taste my whiskey. I want to just taste my whiskey all
There
the
you
time.
go. Absolutely.
Just give it a little refresher.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nice. So and we're going to continue on with these flights as we go along. But let's what's going on in trending in politics and current events right now, man? It is, right?
Politics.
Because he finds some stuff.
Politics is like really crazy. Of course, elephant in the room, the election, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Donald doesn't want to give up, and Joe's trying to put his stake out there, what he's gonna do. So it's interesting. The AG just turned down Donald, and that was a little surprising to me. A lot of the federal courts not hearing his case for recount, which was surprising to me. Supreme Court, they're not going to hear it, and it's just going to be interesting over the next few weeks to see what's going to pan out with this election.
Oh yeah, we're on the cutting edge of some good history making stuff that our grandkids are going to be reading about, and I just hope they tell the truth.
Definitely.
I hope they really captured this in the history books like it really went down. If nothing else, number 45 has taught us a lot about the holes.
Yeah.
We've known them to be there, but we've been, there have been standards of traditional.
Right. It's been exposed.
Yeah,
it's
but
exposing the
he is
holes.
not about the traditions at all.
No, it's testing democracy and the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I guess it's a good thing.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think
As long as the parameters of the Constitution hold together and our democracy stands.
Yeah.
In my opinion, a lot of things that he's done attacks democracy, and we can't stand as a country that way.
Yeah,
So
and that's true.
We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks.
Yes, he definitely put a spin on the United States of America. Definitely, when you're dealing with it from a divisive angle, you have the ability to really mess up absolutely everything that this country has stood for.
Yeah.
But you also have the ability to identify some of the misnomers or the things that we assumed this country stood for,
Right.
and didn't. He
Right.
definitely has shined a light on that.
Yeah.
What you think about the current state of
of our politics in America.
Yeah, you guys are being very diplomatic. Man, I
was thinking the same thing.
am appalled. I am appalled at our freaking so-called president, that he would do what he's doing. And I like your optimism, and maybe it's right that this will all work out and we come out stronger, but it's not a given.
Right.
It is not a given that if people aren't exposed and called to account, then I think we've lost the opportunity, because this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad. This is using the courts as weapons. It's not the way it was meant to be. You go to court when you know there's reasonable things, you have disagreements. These guys have presented no credible proof whatsoever. It has been a total scam. But the guy's been a scam artist. I
The
just don't
entire
believe.
time.
I am.
He is who we knew he was.
So, but why everyone does it? Why 95% of the people in the world don't see that clearly? It boggles my mind.
What do you think is that they don't see
I
it?
need a drink for that. It's just like bad. It's bad. The guy's freaking bad.
Well, I think that they're trying to grasp straws and hold on to this pseudo sense of identity, and that in itself is self-destructive, because it erodes at democracy, and this country is only as strong as all of us being united. Yeah. Like I was speaking to a young gentleman earlier, and I was talking about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's been in Congress, 25, 30 years? Yeah. And he's the most powerful man in the Senate. How you in Congress for 30 years and your state is the least intelligent state in the union? Education-wise, they're the lowest on the totem pole. So that says he's done nothing for his community. Right. His constituency should be angry at him. But instead, what do? They constantly vote him back in.
I don't think that people really intend for politicians to be like accurate at solving problems, at doing what they say they're going to do. I think we've accepted as a whole that politicians aren't very efficient at what they do.
No, I always expect the politician to be honest and do what they're supposed to. That's what I expect. I can't expect anything else. It ain't gonna work out. It ain't gonna work out because
there's a subculture.
We constantly vote in people who are dishonest, and they are constantly cheating people who put them in office, because the quality of life does not change for their constituency. And you constantly pay taxes, and you do everything that you're supposed to do to support your community, support your country, and the people that you put in power, they're selling you out. And it's not a racial thing, and people don't understand.
Oh, no,
it doesn't matter your ethnicity. It's the haves and have-nots.
It's just
Donald
majority
Trump
looks
could care
one
less.
way right now, but he doesn't care.
Right, Donald Trump could care less about those 70 million people who voted for him. He just wants them to keep him in power. Yeah. And they ready. After the 20th of January, he got a lot of people riding around with guns, and they're anticipating some action. I hope it doesn't come to that, because that's just crazy.
I think there's a strong possibility after all of the craziness. We're going to have some chaos. I don't have any doubt about that. But I think there's a need for a third party, a strong third party anyway. And I think this is going to create it. And I don't even care if they create it off of racism or whatever their intentions are. We need another party, because with just two, there's going to be balance and off balance. There's going to be up and downs.
Wait a minute, this could be the start.
It's just difficult for that to happen.
It could be the whiskey party.
Well, we gonna win.
We gonna win. With that being said, is this a maple? This one has a maple base in it. What is it?
No, this is your number 2 is the original rye.
Whiskey,
which is really, really. So a little bit less on the smoke.
Right.
So it's 2/3 rye, 1/3 the smoked malted barley, but the rye isn't smoked and it's not malted. Yeah. So it just comes through. It's a little bit leaning more towards a traditional whiskey, like a bourbon, except for there's no corn, so it doesn't have that sweetness. So
right.
But it's got this elegance, and you know, this.
Then you said
ability-
corn liquor. You know, I grew up in it. You know, we did corn liquor.
But this is good to smoke with. What would you call
Where I'm from,
Well,
is this? You know, this is just the legal side of corn liquor.
well, I was a corn liquor, but I had to
Oh.
put butter on it.
That was good.
I'm interested in knowing what number 3 is before I drink it. I
Sorry.
want the
Oh,
intro
okay.
prior.
Number 3. Yeah, well, I want to go back to the whiskey party. Okay, number 3.
We can come back to the
Number
whiskey party
3
though.
is a back to a single malt. So 100% malted barley. So it's made the same as number 1, except instead of the applewood cherry wood, it's peach wood.
Oh yeah, this is my
smoked
favorite.
malt
This is my
and
favorite.
peach wood chips in the barrel. So that's kind of the same thing with the first one. It's got applewood chips in the barrel and applewood smoke on the malt. So it's 2 vectors, 2 points of introducing that fruit wood that come together in the glass. So even though the word is the same, applewood is the same, it's coming at
like
2
that.
different points in the production process.
Right.
And
This is one that you bought. This one we had before,
I like this.
right?
I think so.
Yeah, this one pairs well with a full or medium to full body
yeah, that
cigar.
bottle is empty, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It happens. It happens.
Yes, I started drinking and smoking, and before I know, somebody had drank half the bottle.
Somebody.
Yeah, 'cause I was by myself. I don't know who snuck up and drinking. It was good though.
Well, there's a hole in the top of that bottle.
It must be. Thank you.
There's
Yeah,
a hole.
in the top, reverse gravity.
But so the peach wood is just it's elegant. It's nice. It's a little bit more limited because years back when we started making it, we didn't make it to the ton. So it's not that it costs that much more to make, but we just price it a little bit higher just because otherwise it'd be gone.
I enjoy sipping on it. I
Yeah.
take my time. I did purchase a bottle. I would sit and sip and sip and sip and smoke. And it's real relaxing. I really enjoyed that.
But it invites you back. You have a sip, and you set it down, and
And
it
they
kind
say,
of
"Hey,
plays
you
with you a
want
little
to
bit.
keep
They say, "Come on
It
back."
says,
Yeah.
hey, I'm still sitting here.
You want another one of these?
Hey.
So what you guys think about, with the COVID-19 going on, and I know we're going to hit on some of that a little bit later as well, but what you think about President-elect's plan for the first 100 days? Do you think it's necessary? And
Mask,
do you think
100.
yeah? I actually like it, but I want to get a feel for what everybody else thinks about that.
I liked it until about an hour and a half ago. I had this conversation. Me and this young gentleman were conversing, and he kind of started me thinking about some other things. But no, I'm just kidding. No, I do agree with the mask, because everybody is up in arms about COVID. Some people aren't sure. Some people say it's fake. I don't know. So I'd rather put the mask on.
Yeah, that's how I don't have the space. I know too many people now who some have died, some folks
Yeah.
who worked for me or I've worked for have died over the last 3 to 6 months, and from what we are being told, COVID related.
Yeah.
And I know quite a few other people who are sick now,
And they say it's COVID.
and they say it's COVID.
Yeah.
I can't prove or disprove whether it is or not.
is or not.
You
right.
know, so I would rather err on the side of precaution,
Caution.
and if nothing else, making the majority feel safer
Right.
than not. And if it's
I
just
concur.
100 days, and if it curves in the right direction, then it speaks for itself.
The reality is that 100 days is nothing because I think I've been wearing a mask for the last 7, 8 months.
Yeah, 100 days.
Yeah, it's nothing. And I too have known 2 people close to me who passed, according to the doctors, COVID. I do know that both of them were diabetics, high blood pressure. One had oxygen, lived with oxygen. So I don't know if the disease exacerbated those conditions or what, but I'd rather wear the mask for 100 days and just not know. What do you think, Professor?
I mean, I have 5 kids, so no matter how I feel, like I do my due diligence for my children.
Err on the side of precaution.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
I
And
have
that's just it.
I have no choice. Like, I have my views, but at the same time, when I'm challenged to going to a grocery store, like it just makes sense to, like you said, err on the side
Err on
of
the side
caution.
of- and
Because,
it's
I mean, what's the alternative?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, what's the downside? It's just
There's
like
no
it's
downside.
a
It's a
little
win-win, yeah.
inconvenience if it's not effective. It's not like it's making things worse.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but it's probably making things better.
people are really having issues with this wearing masks, and people are having marches in different states, not wanting to wear the mask, and this thing is really kind of turning the country upside down.
Well,
So between 45 and COVID,
We're seeing who we really are.
we really are.
That's what I actually enjoy, and I guess this is the part of me. I live in creative tension. I love creative tension. To me, that's where the truth is. That's where conflict resolution takes place. If we stop being polite and we get to see who we really are and who we're really dealing with, then we
we
have the
get to the
opportunity for change.
make some change.
We
Right.
we don't have to just talk about and march for change. I see who you really are. Now it's exposed. What are we going to do about it? And that's going to identify the we that's on the same team. And it may not be the people we assume that are on the same team,
Right.
but it's going to be a set of folks on the team that's going to probably be able to make a difference, or it's going to cause people to want to stand up and maybe run for office, that are going to tell the truth all the time, that are not going to compromise, that are not just building resumes.
You're not talking about me.
and lining
I told you I cursed too much to run for office, man.
I've been trying to get this guy to run for office for a while. And back to the mask, there was this one great guy, great friend of mine, who made me look at it in a way that's kind of mannish, but I like it because he said, wearing a mask is the equivalent to having on underwears and farting. You still, it's getting through there. So what are we really changing? So that gave me an aha moment. That gave me something to think about. Honestly, that gives you something to think about.
Well, you don't have to wash your pants as often.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
This
all
dude
right.
is gonna be a regular.
Just let it rip.
All right.
Let's get to the last one on the flight, sir.
Oh man. Yeah. The last one is a really fun whiskey that turned out well. It's called the Belgrove 1797, and Belgrove was a plantation in south of Winchester. It ended up being a place that changed hands.
You
in the
saying
Civil-
plantation with all these black folks at the table?
I'm telling you the
He
way.
tempered a little bit. He tempered a little bit.
That's why I brought it back,
So far.
because I knew he could handle
I'm
it.
glad you brought it up because
You can
to
handle
not say it. It was a freaking plantation. They had slaves, and it was.
It is what it
it
is,
was
right?
And they made whiskey there.
Yeah.
And now it's a National Historic Trust property. But it was a key. So fast forward to the Civil War, it changed hands like 17 times. So it's like the North had it, the South had it, the North had it, the South had it. It was like built by James Monroe's sister-in-law's husband or something, Isaac Height.
Okay.
So it's a historic place, and they made whiskey. Anyway, at some point, I was on the board, and then I became a whiskey maker, and they asked me if they would make them a whiskey.
Gotcha.
So I said yeah, and so some goes to preserve the place. It's important to preserve history. There was the thought of recreating the distillery there, somewhat the way they did George Washington's distillery, but the land where the distillery actually was now a housing development,
No.
so we couldn't do it accurately. So anyway, we made them this whiskey based on the records of what was grown at the time. So it was corn, oats, and rye. So it's the three grains. So it's over 50% corn, and we didn't age it in new oak because we didn't think that wasn't the thing back then. So we aged it in used barrels, but we didn't use applewood chips, and we didn't use any smoke because Rick Wasmund invented that in 2005.
Wow. Well, go Rick.
So no chips, no applewood. So oak. So it's a very traditional whiskey that's just really well made, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think we
Salute.
should finally toast to
Salute. Salute.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
a little bit. So it's quite a bit like a bourbon,
Right.
except for it's not in the new oak, so it's much softer. It's really nice.
Gotcha.
It's really nice.
We need to stick some cigars in those oak barrels you got.
Yeah, I think he onto something with that. And that one we should actually call Manish.
Manish.
You know, we should have a Manish drink, Rick. You need to consider that.
Yeah,
You know.
his will's already
Look,
turned.
look. And we thank you for hanging out with us. With that being said,
You keep thinking about that tobacco deal. Keep thinking about that.
I know who'll get the credit. I don't come up with. I came up with some good ideas, but not all.
Okay.
well, listen, this has been great, guys.
Yeah.
Just talking
I
about
appreciate
this
you having
part
us,
of it,
Rick.
man. Yeah, thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Again, beautiful space. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of it and just to enjoy this moment with you and hear a little bit more about CopperFox, man. You gonna invite us back? Can we come back and hang out with you sometime?
You better.
Yes, sir.
You are a friend.
Yes.
You are a friend.
Yeah.
And,
Outstanding. Thank you, sir.
yeah, buddy.